AskReddit by Euphoric Flight 2572. What's the most breathtaking landscape you've ever seen? It's cliché AF, but the Grand Canyon. I've seen Bryce, I've seen many different Rockies, I've been to Greece and the Dalmatian coast, I grew up by the Pacific Ocean. No photo or video can really communicate how stunningly, breathtakingly fucking big that canyon is. Like, halfway down one of its branches would be worth a road trip. The whole thing just stretches from horizon to horizon the long way, and nearly fades in the mist looking across. The only thing that compares is Mount Denali. Spend a week in Alaska, first couple days at the park, we'd be all, is this rocky-sized mountain it? Is that 1/3 day, the clouds broke up, and what would have been named peaks in 49 other states revealed themselves to be the foothills of the actual empty Denali, which stood well higher above those other peaks than they did above flat level ground. I live in AZ and have been to the Grand Canyon a few times. It never gets old for me. Even living in Phoenix, I still get awestruck by the beauty of the mountains around me. Maybe it's because I grew up in Indiana, Chicago, so not much to look at there. Oh goodness. I tend to find many landscapes breathtaking no matter where I am. I can always find something beautiful in nature, but some of them include the Lake District in the UK, Yorkshire's rolling hills in the UK, Lancashire, UK's moors, Scarborough, England, Wisconsin's foggy mornings, Baraboo, Wisconsin, the sunset at Clearwater Beach in FL, the Smoky Mountains in TN, Kentucky's countryside, Pennsylvania's Bushkill Falls, the view of the sunset from my family's cabin. I might be a little emotionally attached to the moment, but my wife and I were in North Carolina for our honeymoon and were heading to a sapphire mine. During the drive, we were following a quiet road that paralleled a river. At some point, the thin wall of trees opened up to a little rocky shore where the river split in two. With no car in sight, we stopped on the road, got out, and walked to the shore. There was no sound apart from the river and the wind. At this stage in the fall, the forested hillside on the other side of the river looked like it was on fire. One direction of the split river wrapped around the hill and the other in the direction we were heading. I stood there enjoying the serenity for what seemed like 20 minutes, and the entire scenery is forever burned in my mind. The Swiss Alps are gorgeous. The Plitvice Lakes in Croatia are beautiful. Oregon coast. I've been lucky to have seen much of the world, but the most breathtakingly beautiful landscape I've seen has to be the Himalayan mountains in Tibet. The utter sparseness of the Tibetan plateau surrounded by these magnificent mountains was just breathtaking. Truly. The ocean from an airplane. Somewhere in either northeast Arizona or northwest New Mexico. We were driving through the mountains when suddenly we hit the edge of the range and started to descend. The colors changed as we drove and we could see for miles. I don't remember the road, I was 11, other than it being a highway and not an interstate. One of these days, I hope I can find it. Blue Mountains in NSW, just a little outside of Sydney, or on the edge of Sydney. In particular the Three Sisters Lookout Point, where all the tourists go. I remember seeing it for the first time as a kid. It looked like I was looking at water painting piece of art. I live in New Zealand. Going for a drive many if not most places is just silly with the amount of natural beauty. Seriously. One might joke and say that if you are wowed by a view, give it a minute and a couple of corners and you'll get another as grand or better, but that's seriously how it is. Driving the ring road in Iceland. There were so many beautiful landscapes that felt otherworldly. The Scottish Highlands, especially Loch Lomond. The Big Sur in America. The black sand beaches of Essie, Iceland around Vik. Iceland as a whole is just really cool, like the black sand beach with the hexagonal basalt pillars. I know it has really dangerous waves, but it's just so cool. Night view from the top of Mt. Hakodate and the vista of Mt. Fuji from the Shirito Pagoda in Fuji Isle, Shida City. Do caves count as a landscape? Some of the caverns up in Washington DC are astounding. I would share some pictures, but sadly, I lost them all. Bird Trail in Utah. New Zealand. They just care so much about free roaming animals and cleanliness. It doesn't seem real. Driving the Pacific Coast Highway through Big Sur. Absolutely breathtaking. Sunrise over the Atlantic. L 9th. My mind. It was so breathtaking. The mountains of Helen, Georgia. We were on our way there from Savannah and the road we took was very scenic, although we did get lost at one point and didn't have any signal, and as we entered Helen, it was amazing. Close call between Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland, and Glacier National Park, Montana. I liked those two more than Grand Canyon, Arizona, believe it or not. Although Grand Canyon isn't bad, and hopefully you time your visit while a rain shower or thunderstorm is passing through, as it makes pics of Grand Canyon a little more interesting. Top of the Langtang Trail in Nepal. We sat there on top of the mountain and just enjoyed the sun setting into the countless clouds. Then we realized those were not clouds. They were snow-capped mountains. Highest elevation on the planet. It's nuts. Microsoft Bliss. Windows XP wallpaper.